Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball. Happy Memorial Day. Happy baseball is in full swing day. Let's do it! Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball, presented to you by SeatGeek. My name is Jimmy, his name is Jake, and we got BBD behind the dish. Trevor Klauf still in Italy, missing, having fun, bringing his baseball and glove around Italy. Leaning Tower of Pisa with a baseball on top. Classic picture. And that's been done now. Trev did it. Jake, how are you?
James Beeper, formerly Trev, he said is a business trip. He's scouting some GeoGuessr locations for us. So, new GeoGuessr out today for those of you that, if you know, you know. IYKNYKK. Happy Memorial Day, everyone. Zach in the office. Big Memorial Day. Big weekend of games. Not talking hockey, not talking basketball. This is talking baseball, people. And we had a little bit of a sweep week.
We did. Not in the AL.
I'll say this. Good team swept. You know, the Blue Jays did.
Yeah.
Some good teams swept, so we like that. And yeah, we're hitting, you mentioned Memorial Day, kind of the start of being fully in the swing of things. Yeah, I mean, things are happening. Some guys are getting DFA'd. Our guy Kotuck, we love you. And he's going to end up in a better place. So that's a problem solved. And then, yeah, like, you know, some of the teams we've been talking about a lot. Braves, are they going to start getting it going? Like, who's about to hit the go switch? And we got a couple interesting results. On the other side of the go switch, there's the choke.
Choke.
When you're mowing the lawn.
Mm-hmm.
And you're trying to get the lawnmower, but you over-choke it. So,
just ripping on it.
Not sure where that went, but how are you doing?
It existed. I'm good, fresh off the
course.
And there's some holes there that I've had, like, just beautiful shots on, so I was hoping muscle memory, good memories, would kick in. Nah. I just was hitting every tree. If it came out of my hand good, it hit a tree.
So you were throwing a good disc. You were just
sometimes. If it came out of my hand good, it hit a tree.
Gotcha.
Which is I'll take that over when it comes out of my hand and it's not good. It's just like left right away, but whatever. So I'm nice and sweaty. And then an hour 20 train ride. Love it. My dad offered to bring me closer for a shorter train ride. And I said, oh no, hour 20 train ride in the AC and like solitude and just like editing and study. Like he's like, oh, I get it. That's your remote office. And I was like, yeah.
Yeah. At the time you did it too, probably. Not a crowded train, I assume.
It got crowded towards the end because Memorial Day, but the first couple stops was pretty empty. It was nice.
Good.
I watched a lot of highlights, studied my butt off.
Love it.
I fell into some fun things in the AL. I have to apologize up front to the Tigers and the Guardians.
Okay.
I wasn't able to. They were last on my list of in order of watch highlights for.
Sure.
And I didn't get a chance to get to them because blame Seattle. They sent me down a rabbit hole, which I'm excited to share with you.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. So that's where I'm at. BBD, how are you?
I'm all right. Wish I could have bought a ticket to see you play disc golf.
Oh, wow. Well, the course director, his name's Chris. He met up with me, said hi, and he said, if you ever want to do something, hit me up. So that's a pretty brutal, in a good way. It's like a challenging course.
It's a tough course, I know.
But maybe we'll hold an invitational at some point, and we'll sell tickets on SeatGeek.
Until then, you'll have to go watch more traditional sporting events at SeatGeek, or they got concerts and shit. They got everything. They're goddamn seat geeks, man. Like, they know everything about seats, the angles of seats, dimensions of seats, what makes a good seat. And they show you on the app at each game what's a good seat, what's a bad seat. How many places are telling you what's a bad seat? SeatGeek. They rate every ticket from 0 to 10, making sure you get a good deal. If you know the green means good, red means bad system, you're going to be okay. If you don't, DM BBD. He'll explain the whole thing to you. And by the way, use code TALKIN. $20 off your tickets at SeatGeek. That's not a joke, people. I've joked before, but that's not a joke. $20 off your first purchase with promo code TALKIN. Go to a game. You could use this. There's baseball games kicking off at all sorts of times today because of Memorial Day. You could use this to go to a game today or any other day. Thank you, SeatGeek. Code TALKIN. $20 off your first order.
Thanks, SeatGeek. Can you tell me about the NL?
Because
I studied it when we did it with Moylan, and I learned a lot.
Okay.
But I did not. I saw some of the Mets stuff. That's all I know.
Okay.
Literally all I know. I'm excited to learn.
Okay.
So let's do it. The Baseball Boogie by Mikey Rotano.
James, we're starting off where we play for rings in the desert. My Diamondbacks, well, they got swept. They got swept by the Dodgers. A 4-gamer, Jim, and I think something of note here, the Dodgers had basically their 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th starting pitchers going.
Ooh.
We had your guy Mitch White, Pepio, Tony Gonsolin, and Tyler Anderson. They get the job done against my Snakes. Mookie Betts is starting to go. You might hear about him later. Freddie Freeman. He's a familiar name as well, huh? Justin Turner. Also, Trey Turner. Yup. You guys know all these people, and it ended up being a 4-game sweep for the Dodgers in the desert. I hate it. Rios had a big go-ahead 3-run homer in the second game of that series. The only bad news for Dodgers fans, Mac Muncy. He goes to the 10-day IL. They called up Kevin Pillar. How about that?
Whoa.
Baseball. The Mets sweep the Philadelphia Phillies. Oh, boy, Phillies. Oh, boy. Headline on ESPN, Joe Girardi worried about his job? We don't know. Mets, it's their first sweep. They hadn't swept yet.
They hadn't won 4 in a row.
They hadn't swept a series yet, having this phenomenal start. Cookie Carrasco, Taijuan Walker, and Bassett all ended on Sunday Night Baseball. Chaos. Castellanos with a deep drive to left, 3-run homer in the 8th, and then Nick Plummer, the rookie, his first hit. Are you kidding me? 5-tool light ended it. McNeil, he does it in the second game. The Mets, man, some good stuff going on. Shea Station, go check them out. They just recorded. Hot. Reds, they take 2 out of 3 from the Giants. Reds, playing a decent brand of baseball. They just won 4 straight. The highlight of this series, Jock Peterson and Tommy Pham get into a little fantasy football fisticuffs. Pre-game, you can't write this stuff. Is he yelling? The Red starting pitchers dropped Dick a 0.50 ERA in these 3 games. Your boy Ashcraft Gutierrez and popped a molly. I'm sweating. Giants, little what is you doing, baby? Although they do win the last game. Longo, go-ahead 3-run homer late like that. Makes me hard. Cardinals and Brewers, they split 4, and that's obvious because they're the elite in the NL Central. Brewers, they win the bread games. 4-3 and 8-0 on the bookends, highlighted by Corbin Burns with an electric start. The Cardinals take the 2 in the middle. Okay, everyone's happy or everyone's sad? I don't know. Paul Goldschmidt is going nut job. The Cardinals keep calling up more and more young guys, and they're actually doing well. The elite in the NL Central, they each win 2. Brewers call up Ethan Small, making his MLB debut right now. As we talk, pass and tweet about it, so you know it's a big deal. Oh, I'm just passing. Padres take 2 out of 3 from the Pirates, and that's obvious. They take the bread games. It was 4-3, 4-2, 4-2, so it's kind of messed up. The Pirates scored that 3rd run in the first game. Otherwise, we would have had a whole fortitude series. Profar keeps doing good things. Our guy Luke Voigt, former Yankee great, former Cardinals great. He hit a homer in this one. Brubaker and Musgrove, little redemption game for Musgrove. Not so fast, my friends. That's the one game the Pirates won. Grisham had the walk-off homer off the pole, baby. That's a fun highlight. Machado sits a couple games with an elbow. We hate that. Cole Tucker, I love you, dude. You're my guy. Texted him. He's doing great, guys. He always is. Braves take 2 out of 3 from the fish with arms. They take the bread games. 6-4, 6-3 on the bookends. They couldn't get the meat because holy smokes, Sandy Alcantara. We never know if we're saying that right. Ran long. It's Memorial Day. Nats took 3 out of 4 from the Rockies. Big game for the Nats tonight, Jim. If they win, they go to 19-31.
They've had 31 losses and 19 wins.
18 coming into today.
Good for them. They had 22 extra base hits in those 4 games.
If they win tonight, the 19-31 is the famed number in Nationals land. That's their World Series team's number. I gotcha.
Yeah, I don't have that committed to memory. That's cool.
Yeah.
A lot happened here. Where do you want to start?
Give us the standings, Jim.
The standings are as follows. In the NL West, the Dodgers picked up another game over the Padres with their sweep. They're in first place. They got a 3-game lead on the Padres, and the Giants fall to 7.5 back. Yep. In the NL, Milwaukee is still in first place, but the Cardinals pick up a game. They're 3.5 back. That's a 2-team race. In the NL East, the Mets grabbed a game with their sweep, so now the Braves are 8.5 games back, and the Mets have the second-best record in the East, 32-17, only worse than the Dodgers, who are 33-14.
Yeah, I think there's going to be some coastal elitist BS this episode. Trevor out on the far coast. We're here talking about the East Coast. Dodgers and Snakes, it's probably not a series we need to deep dive in, but, I mean, they have full-blown left the station. They are now putting distance between the Padres and the Giants. The Giants, even the tone in your voice when you said the standings, like there's an orange-yellow flag up in Giants land that's kind of like, okay, like we kind of got to go. They had some injuries. Maybe that Longo homer can spark them. But Dodgers, man, some of their guys, we said this a couple times early in the year. We were like, the Dodgers are still winning games, and Mookie's not going. And Freddie, their offense hasn't fully clicked yet. They clicked this series. They're pitching no Urias Bueller in this series.
Tyler Anderson's on a heater. I think
no Kershaw.
And Tyler Anderson's got 3 starts in a row right now that are really good. And his nickname, according to Baseball Reference, is Mr. Duck.
Yeah.
And he's got like a 2.9 ERA on the season.
Yeah.
So nice that he can step up like that.
No Heaney, no Dustin May. I mean, they are, they're on to basically a bonus rotation and swept 4 games. My Snakes, you know what? Don't worry about it.
Are you worried about it?
That's kind of my final statement. No. I mean, the Dodgers, I think we eyed this up. We did a little bit of schedule talk. We need to do more schedule talk. That's what the people like. The Dodgers had a little window of schedule coming up that it looked like they had a chance, and they're starting to go.
Well, we said that in that stretch they needed to go like 8-10, and they did, I think. Someone tweeted at us that they did what we said they had to do, which was a ridiculous ask of a team. But they were playing the Nats and the Pirates and the Reds. Is it the 3?
D-backs.
D-backs? Oh, yeah. So the Dodgers are just going. Pilar gets called up, huh? For Muncy. That's an odd translation. Odd,
Right.
1 for 1. Oh, Muncy's down. We'll replace him with Pilar. But they just have so much flexibility.
Versatility.
Yeah.
Is what you'd say.
Can we stay in the West? The Giants.
So, Jimmy.
Their pitching's been okay. Like, it hasn't really, this series it didn't do them in. Their offense, I just always go back to that Eno Saris tweet where he's like, somehow these guys are doing it. Right. And now it's like, well, they're not anymore. They had, no one had more than 3 hits this weekend. 2 home runs, and that was Longo. So you're right. Hopefully that gets going. Not a lot of extra base hits. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. Jock gets slapped.
Yeah, I don't. I think they had something weird happen. They faced Graham Ashcraft, which I don't know if you're planning on talking about him later.
You mean Douglas Graham Ashcraft?
I do mean Douglas Graham Ashcraft.
Yeah, DG Ashcraft.
He goes by Graham, and you know that.
DG Ash.
He goes by Graham.
Ashcraft's a made-up last name. Somewhere in his ancestry, they'd be like, yeah, Papa had he didn't like what it really was. It sounded too German, so we changed it to Ashcraft. Like, that's not an original.
Jim, this has been a thing.
It's probably like sounded. I was going to make a bad joke.
This has been a thing in Yankees land for a while that, they run up against a starting pitcher, a rookie or something like that. And if they get through those first couple innings, it's kind of like, come on, like, who is this guy? Who's Douglas Graham Ashcraft? BBD, edit out the D word. Jimmy, he only has one strikeout in his 6.1 innings against the Giants. But he holds them shutty. He only gives out 4 hits. And yeah, man, the Giants hitting on the year is still high level stuff. But yeah, I think they ran into that. Gutierrez and Wood kind of go eye for an eye. The Kyle Farmer 3-run homer was their only runs in game 2. And that was enough. So you're right. The offense couldn't climb back in that game. And yeah, Longo kind of saves them to avoid a sweep from the Reds. But remember when at the start of this season we did over-unders and, we looked at the Giants and the question kind of felt more on the Padres than the Giants. Well, the Padres are doing the damn thing.
I think they're going to try.
Okay.
I do. I really do. You want to go Central then as we make our way across? The Reds are winning games. And the Brewers, I watched some of that Brewers game.
Okay.
Burns won.
Okay. I thought you only saw Mets stuff. This whole thing's getting suspect now.
As we were talking Yanks yesterday, I had it on in the background.
Okay.
So I really wasn't able to pay attention. I just saw the score changing over time.
Okay.
And Burnsy pitched well.
Corbin Burns. Yeah, he casual 7 shutty with 11 Ks for him.
Series split between the Brewers and the Cardinals. I mean, that's a win for the Brewers. They're ahead in the standings. Yeah. Sure, would they like to pad it? That's Cardinals. That's 4-game chunk there to try and grab some games.
And it's in St. Louis. That would be the other.
Yeah.
That would be the other spin there. And the Cardinals were up 2-3 going into that last game, and Corbin Burns does what he does and just absolutely shuts you down and ends a series. So, yeah, in that way, it's a bigger win for the Crew. Goldschmidt is going nut job. Nolan Gorman, the big time prospect for the Cardinals, he has a breakout game, 4-hit game, and his first career home run. Have a day, kid. Meanwhile, his guy Liberatore was on the bump. He goes 5 shutty for his first career win. They're buddies from growing up. Baseball, man, doesn't get better than that, dude.
Looking at my guy DG Ashcraft's stats.
What was that?
Very interesting that he doesn't have swing and miss stuff. His cutter sits 98.
Whoops.
His sinker sits 97. And he's got an 84-mile-per-hour slider that's got a 7% whiff rate. So he must be tipping that.
He's a young Corbin Burns. You know,
can just see that right out of his hand. It seems like, but he's not getting hits, so good for him.
He needs to talk to Corbin.
He does need to talk to Corbin. Anything else? What else?
Mets-Phillies. I mean, this is the
in the East.
This is the nightcap to the MLB weekend, Sunday Night Baseball. We get Alonso mic'd up. He can barely hear. It's a blast. It's my version of baseball heaven, personally. And we get a crazy game. I mean, Phillies go full display in the first inning of all of their downfalls as a roster. And then...
Well, you were gone Friday, I don't know.
Sure.
Against the Braves.
Right.
Like, the one note was the Phillies. I think Moylan, who did the show, but he tweeted because he was working the game, like, what's the Phillies defensive? Like, hey, it's bad. And I have a theory, fan fiction that might be real. I might save it for later in the show.
Fiction kick out of you.
Fan fiction. Yeah. Well, I have to say that so people don't think I'm actually being real.
Okay.
But it's like, maybe.
You're a Marvel guy.
Know. No, I'm not a Marvel guy. No way.
Not a Marvel guy. Fan fiction. No, they did you see the first inning? I mean, they went full Max-Phillies.
No, I didn't, but I saw a lot of it in the Braves series, and it's just bad.
And yeah, it passes the eye test, and they grade out as the worst team defensively, and we knew this roster was going to be bad. I think, well, and this is where the 19-31 from the Nats becomes a fun holiday marker of the season. They're 20-27. The vibes are bad. I do think there is something. Peter Moylan called it mojo because he's an Australian Austin Powers. But knowing that your defense sucks is an impossible way to come to the baseball stadium every day. Your pitchers don't believe in you. Your defense doesn't believe in themselves. The other team smells blood in the water.
Yep. And it's more than just like, you can be bad on defense and it not be noticeable to the casual fan.
Sure.
Because you just don't have the range other teams do. You don't make the good plays. Like, you can make all the average plays, but never make the above average plays. And you're bad on defense, but it's not known. To be so stinkingly bad that, like, they make the play and it's nice.
Yeah, it's almost not the norm. It's almost not the norm for them. So, yeah, and I mean, it all makes sense, man. I mean, Schwarber's a guy that has been labeled a hitter his whole career. Castellanos, same. I mean, we saw Bohm's struggles earlier this year. It's kind of contagious. It's got to be a bad feeling if you're one of those Phillies starting pitcher. By the way, all of them have been having solid years. So, yeah, I mean, times are dark right now. Phillies get swept by the Mets.
Well, and schedule watch, Phillies got a little bit of a to go through.
They do.
And their season might be over. I don't want to say over, but it's like, you know, where I said on talking yesterday, like, first act of the season, it's Memorial Day. It's time for Act 2. This is like, what do you actually – bullpens are starting to get injured. They're starting to get tired. Depth is starting to get tested. You're gonna your balance of schedule, if you've had an easy schedule, is going to get harder. If you've had a hard schedule, it's going to balance out in June and July.
Yeah.
And they open up June, I mean, 3 against the Giants, 3 against the Angels, who are having their own difficulties, but then Brewers, and then they do have Arizona, Miami.
We're going to find out is what you're saying, man. Like, it's that time. It's that time. Like, you can be 20-27 and things can click and it can start being beautiful, or you're going to be this Phillies team that they made a bet that if you do everything except defense, you'll be good. And right now it's not looking so great. And you know, I have some weird pent up Dave Dombrowski hate. So I'm kind of rooting against the Phillies.
I mean, he had a quote about the defense, like, have you seen the way they hit? And I don't know if people have been throwing that back in his face yet.
Yeah. And I mean, I think probably more importantly for this season on the other side, the Mets, man, Jeff McNeil does it in the second game. Eddie Escobar, Nick Plummer with a game tying.
That's when the
vibes
are good.
That's, you know, that's special stuff that happens in a baseball season.
The Mets, I was saying, schedule watch talk, that they needed to get fat real nicely here against Phillies. Now they have 3 against the Nationals, and I hope they sweep them as well. Because after that, 17 of their next 24 games are against playoff contenders.
Yep.
4 against the Dodgers, 3 against the Padres, 3 against the Angels, 3 against the Brewers.
A West Coast trip.
And then you have 4 against Houston. So, but also the Mets can go 500 the rest of the season. They got first place, I think. I don't think anyone's coming. So, but they're like sitting so pretty. But it is, but for just to like a test of what we're made of and all how you stack up, it's going to be that West Coast trip is always a good test for East Coast teams.
Braves.
And I want the Mets to win so they win 4 in a row for the first time tonight.
But then the Nationals need to get to 19-31 so they can win the World Series this year.
No.
Hope.
No, I don't care about that.
You would have hated 2019. The Braves take 2 out of 3 from the Marlins. Braves. Peter Moylan on last episode. Dude did Farm to Fame with him. That comes out tomorrow. They take 2 out of 3. They run into Contra in the second game. They win a series. They are the positive side of the Phillies. I loved how Moylan phrased it in your guys' episode last week. You guys did great. Don't worry about the Mets right now. Get the hell away from the Phillies and the Fish. Like, let's
make it a 2-team division like the Central.
Get away from them. Get over 500, and then let's start getting the Mets in their sight. So I think this series is a step in the right direction there. They win the bread games. Ronnie Acuna and Albies in that first game. Those are the guys you like. And then big Marcelo Zuna. We haven't talked about him a lot this year. 2-homer game with Max Fried dropping it. They call up a 21-year-old kid. He's playing center field. Add in a little defense. Moylan had been disappointed in the team's defense in general. I love it. Call up a kid and say, well, he's here and he's going to play defense. Kind of send a message to the rest of the team. I love it. Braves need to start winning more series. They win a series.
Good job to the Braves.
We like that. Rockies-Nats. Sorry, guys. Got left out of the sizzler on the way in. It was Memorial Day. Vibes are lax. We're dudes. Nats take 3 out of 4 to put themselves in position for that 19-31 today.
Huge game.
Rockies are fading.
Mm-hmm.
Rockies are fading hard. Kelsey Wingard effect.
Where's our buddy? What's our buddy Daniel Bard's contract?
I mean, don't get me started. He was part of my Chris Rose trade rotate. Should have been traded last year, but the Rockies refused to. And I think he likes Colorado, and it's kind of a happy side to it. But
he's a free agent.
You're gross, dude.
Is he having? He's having a good year, and he's a rental. I mean, but you can't trust the Rockies to make the decisions that they should make.
That's what it is. They didn't trade Trevor Story last year.
Nor Gray.
Patrick Corbin, who we had last time I was on with you, we went in on him decently, only because, we
went on his
we
contract.
read stats.
We read stats in his contract. That's all.
Read stats. He gets a win. It was 6.1 3 runs, his first win of the season, so kind of like that.
Goes from 6.6 ERA to 6.3.
Hey, wins are what matters. Don't care about that series, going to be honest.
All right, let's move on to the AL.
Padres beat the Pirates, and that's about it, yeah.
Okay.
Give me the American League, Timbo.
Here's what happened in the American League. The Blue Jays went to Anaheim and swept the Angels in a 4-game series. The Angels had the lead in a couple of these games, played decent enough, some bullpen collapses, some defense collapses. It was the battle of the jacket versus the hat. A lot of people talking about that. I don't think I saw any of that, but they should have taken a picture of the jacket versus the hat. It should have been a whole thing. Blue Jays win all 4. One thing I did notice watching all highlights, Alejandro Kirk's everywhere. He's pinch hitting, getting RBIs. He's getting hits. He had like a .560 batting average in this series. He's rounded bases, scoring runs. He's just like all over Blue Jays games, and you wouldn't expect it. The Yankees and the Rays played 4 games. The Yankees took the first 2. The Rays took the bottom 2. It was a series of pitching. A lot of good starting pitching, key hits. The Rays are banged up a little bit. They got Matt Carpenter, and kind of their bullpen is hurt. Rays, starting pitcher and bullpen, a lot of people on the IL. Walls makes himself known to Yankees fans, has some nice plays. It's a big homer. They took the last 2. Kluber had a good outing. A lot of good pitching in that series. The Astros and the Mariners played 3 games, and the Mariners took 2 out of 3. They get to Verlander. They put up 6 earned on Verlander. They had 8 hits. They hit 5 home runs. Then the next game, they get to Urquidy with 5 earned runs. They were attacking the Astros pitching. The Astros salvage it in the 3rd game, though the Mariners did have bases loaded. Only 1 out, 1 run in the 1 run in the 9th inning. Double play to end the game. So they were in it, and they win the series. Good for the Mariners. They needed some juice The Royals and the Twins split a 4-game set. Royals win the first game, Twins win the second, Royals win the third, Twins win the fourth. Smeltzer had a great outing, but Duffy blew it in game 1. Ober and Keller both get rocked. Twins batted around in the first inning of game number 2. Correa had a go-ahead solo homer in the 4th. Singer versus Archer, nothing to write home about in that matchup in game 3, but Witt Jr., who they just called Junior, and I don't like that, has 3 hits and 2 RBIs, including go-ahead RBI. And then in game 4, Gray goes 6 innings pitched, 1 earned run. Sonny Gray, did he come out for injury? He came out in the middle of that bat, and I was trying to figure out what it was. Greinke, 5 earned runs. Gio Urshela was all over this series defensively, turned an awesome double play, had a bunch of hits. Good job by Gio. Guardians and the Tigers played 3 games. The Tigers took 2 out of 3. Game 2 was postponed. It will be played in July. Skubal had 7 innings pitched, 3 earned runs. Cabrera had a walk-off single. Poked one over the infield after a pass ball, allowed the runner to get to third. Then they bring the infield in, and they go, boop, I'm good enough to just do that. Bieber with a really good start. Naylor go-ahead RBI double in the 4th. Ramirez 3-run triple in the game the Guardians win. Tristan McKenzie, another good start. I think that's 2 in a row for him. 7.2 innings pitched, 2 runs. How about that? Go get him. Stick. The Orioles and the Red Sox play 4 games. They have a 5th game tonight. The Orioles have won 2, and the Red Sox have won 2. Orioles are pesky, man. Orioles are pesky. They had a doubleheader on Saturday, and Eovaldi goes complete game to save the pen for the Red Sox, but it doesn't matter because Odor gets to Josh Winkowski, the rookie, with a 3-run bomb, and then Pivetta deals in the second game of the doubleheader. Or no, on Sunday for the Red Sox. They got a 5th game. Rangers and Athletics. Rangers took 3 out of 4. Our guy Hearn had a good start. I think the deepest he's gone. 6 innings pitched, 2 earned runs. A lot of hitting, a lot of bad defense in this series. Remind me about my theory. Kaprelian gave up 4. Dunning gave up 2. Lowry had a walk-off single. Rangers had tied it in the 9th on a wild pitch. And then Oakland took the lead in the 8th. In game 1, it was cool. Perez and Montes both went 7 innings pitched, 1 earned run. The runs came on a RBI walk and then a wild pitch run scored. So those were the 2 runs, 1-1. That's all. Bottom.
Stand me.
As for the standings, if I still have them up, let's see, I do. The Yankees lose. Even though they split with the Rays, the Rays gained a game. So the Rays are 4.5 back on the Yankees. Yankees are ahead. I don't know how that makes sense.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
Maybe this is Thursdays. They played on Thursday.
They played Thursday night, so
Thursday.
You read the Friday standings.
Yeah. So it's probably the same. But anyway, the Rays are 4.5 back on the Yankees, who are in first place. The Twins, they gain some games. They are now 5 up on the White Sox, behind them. And in the West, Houston is in first. Seattle jumps back up to 10 games back in fourth place. The Angels get swept, but Seattle helps them out by beating Houston, so they don't lose that many games in the standing. They're 3.5 back.
Where do you want to go, Jimmy?
I really don't know. None of these series really, besides the Yankees and the Rays, because they're division and 1-2.
Right.
None of the others, Toronto and LA.
Yeah.
Those are the 2 that I
one.
felt held weight. The Blue Jays sweeping the Angels, a 4-game sweep on the road. Very good for the Blue Jays. They got some good pitching, and they came back. They just kept going, man. They hit really well. They had, let's see, who pitched for them? They had Ryu, 5 innings pitched, 2 earned runs. Manoah, 6 innings pitched, 2 earned runs. He's a beast, man. Kikuchi, 5 innings pitched, 2 earned runs. And then Barrios got shelled in his start, which now his season is, I think, bad. He's been going back and forth, and it's been salvageable. But I think he might have enough bad that he can only get to like a mediocre season if he goes lights out the rest of the way. Does got a 5 ERA. He's had 3 games, 5 innings, 5 earned runs or more, and he had 1 game he didn't get out of the first inning. So tough start to the year for Barrios, but the Blue Jays get it done. Vladdy took Ohtani deep. That was really cool. Bo Bichette had a lot of hits, and like I said, Kirk is everywhere. They pinch hit him, and he had the go-ahead RBI, and then he scored the go-ahead run, and it was just a fucking bowling ball rounding third. It's a really funny and cool shot. On the Angels side of things, they're going through an offensive lull. Mike Trout had his first 2 games of his career, I think, where he didn't reach in a row. It was in 7. There's some number, they tweeted it out. Ward was hurt, so he came off the bench in 2 games. He got going in game 4, so I think that's a good sign for them. Yeah.
I have 2 things on this.
Mm-hmm.
Blue Jays, I think they needed this. Remember we looked back at the Blue Jays a couple weeks ago. They had just lost a series to the Rays. They lost a series to the Yankees before that. And they were right around 500. And it was like, hey, baby Jays, come on. You guys had the expectations. You guys were talking the talk. Vladdy had a couple quotes out there. A couple of those guys were what was Vladdy's quote? This year's the show? Or
yeah, it was the appetizer and this is something like that.
And then, okay, you're right around 500. This was huge for them. They had beat the Reds. They beat the Mariners after that. They split a 2-gamer to come out west and get 4 games. And on the other side of it, the Angels, I don't know. You can stop the bleeding because you had 2 of these games. You were tied into the 9th. You had the lead going into the 8th. I don't think you could be too bum hurt by this if your team moves on.
Bum hurt. I like that.
Edited version.
Yeah.
PG-13.
British version.
Don't ever say that.
You're Brit.
It's Memorial Day.
Well, they got 2 bad starts, the Angels, and then in games where they did have to lead, the bullpen blew it. So, and the offense isn't firing. So they had some timely hits. They made some costly errors. Renhefo had a bad day. Squid had an error. It just felt like an amalgamation of kind of less than outings. For me, and I watch these, and my brother-in-law's an Angels fan. It doesn't feel like this is. It feels like a one-off. It doesn't feel like the shoe flipped
exactly.
or anything like
That's
that.
the hope.
It just feels like fuck. Everything kind of went wrong these 4 games, and the Blue Jays just never took their foot off. They just kept hitting. Yeah. Ohtani. He had loud outs when he was pitching. The Blue Jays were just hitting.
That's what they're supposed to do. Angels come in to face the Yankees, so that gets interesting.
Did you see what happened to Suzuki?
Whatever's left of the Yankees. Yeah, I saw, and our girl Kelsey was tweeting out, he's a really well-liked guy around the league. So
if anyone didn't see, Lorenzen bounced a warm-up pitch. It was a breaking ball, and it came up and hit him in the neck. He said he was out with a neck contusion, but he was kind of fainting as he went to the dugout and left the game. Passed out. It was kind of scary to see.
Very scary.
I don't know. Scary. I think he's okay. I don't know the updates.
I haven't seen anything recently, but
I remember in real time, I think a lot of the players had no idea what was happening. I think while Stassi was warming up, you could see him clearly asking what happened.
Yeah. Bizarre game.
He returned after scary incident, so that's good.
That's good. We like that. A team that I don't know how many times we're going to be able to give them love this year. Dude, I couldn't believe where the Texas Rangers were in the standings. Good for them. 22-24.
Yeah, well, they were 19-23 in the middle of last week. And then they won a bunch. 22-24, yeah. 7 games back. They had their first home run from Simeon. Corey Seager.
Get ready for a streak.
Corey Seager had some big shots. They played well. Let's see what I wrote down in my notes.
Yeah, they were 14-9. They were 13-19. And now they are 22-24. So quick math, they are 9. I hate math. 9-5 in a little bit. So I don't know. I mean, I was ready to basically never talk about the Rangers again unless it was our guy Taylor Hearn, who has a good start.
Yeah.
Good for them getting back in the mix a little bit.
Well, Martin Perez now, his season is one that we will talk about, making Venezuela proud. I mean, his last, holy smokes, Martin Perez, his last 7 games, 48.1 innings pitched, 4 earned runs. Damn, that's 6 innings pitched, 0 earned runs, 7 innings pitched, 1 earned run, 7-0, 6.1, 1, 6-1, 9-0-7-1. I mean, that's a hell of a stretch for Martin Perez.
Kid's hot. I know it's the A's, but good for the Texas Rangers being above the Seattle Mariners, which will probably close us out west. They take 2 out of 3 from Houston. You're impressed anytime anyone gets to JV.
Yeah, so want to hear my stats? I went into a deep dive. I was going to make this an award, but I want to just share it with the people. Jimmy Research. I bring shit to the table. I'm a fucking pro.
Okay.
So they hit 5 home runs off of Verlander, or 4 home runs off of Verlander. No. Wait. Okay. Rodriguez got him, Lewis got him, Ty France got him, and then our dude Trammell got him, or Trammell. So they hit 4 home runs off of him. 3 of them, or 2 of them, came on the first pitch of the at-bat. They were in such a slide. Okay. So I was like, maybe maybe they changed their strategy, just ambush pitchers and not get behind in counts. Ding, 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 ding. In their last 2 series against the Red Sox and the Mets, I believe it was, or I don't know, they swung at the first pitch 31% of the time.
Okay.
In the first 2 games against the Mariners, 55%.
Okay.
So they were like, let's just get ahead. Let's not get into 2 strikes and get in a hole where we got a bunch of young guys, and they just ambushed those 2 pitchers, Urquidy and Verlander. So I thought that was pretty cool that they had a team plan, and it worked and kind of shocked. Like, I think 3 of them were ambush home runs off Verlander, yes. And then in the last game, Garcia rocked them to sleep a little bit, but they were still swinging. It was 49% through the series. So you face some good pitchers in Houston. They needed a little change it up, and they did. So.
Well, and that's, Jim, I know it's a stat you don't like because people use it on the internet the wrong way, but the 19-31 from that Nationals team, we're hitting that point of the season. That Nationals team, again, when you put everything in the pot, they had the starting pitching, they had the horses. It just hadn't clicked for them as a team. If you're a Seattle Mariners, if you're a team like the Phillies, if you've been one of the underachievers so far this season, it's bad, but there's still room to go. So I don't know if it's swinging at first pitches more. I don't know if it was coming back home after a tough East Coast trip. There's still time to go. Like, your season's not over at 20-28. Obviously not the start you wanted.
No, they got 3 really good starts from Gonzalez, Flexen, and Gilbert. I mean, all of them went 7 innings. Marco Gonzalez went into the 8th inning.
And that's what I was laughing listening to you and Peter talk about it, because it's like, what's the problem? What's the problem? And it's kind of an amalgamation of just around.
Yeah, someone tweeted is runners in scoring position. Like, they just couldn't get it done.
Sure. That's always one of the big ones. But, they're just everything's a tier below. Their hitting's a tier below than what they expected. Their starting pitcher's a tier below than what they expected. Their relief pitching is a tier below than what they've expected. So, hey, you just took 2 out of 3 from those bad boys in your division, the Astros, Baltimore, Texas, and then you go to Houston. I don't know. I don't know what's going on in the water. You're not dead yet, but it's go time, Mariners. Be the ones we're talking about. Be the ones that it's August, and I'm talking about how you guys were 20-28, and we didn't know what was going wrong, and it clicked.
Be the ones.
Be the ones. One of these teams happens every year.
Oh, this is 2021. I looked at who's the worst at hitting with runners in scoring position. It was the Yankees, and I was like, oh, my God. But that was last year.
2021, people.
Which will you want to pivot then to the East, or what do we got?
Yeah, what else?
Kansas City and Minnesota. I really don't know. Minnesota is looking like they're fun right now, but then they still lost 2 of these games. And the first game, Smeltzer was great, and Duffy came in, and Royals kind of ran around and did defense and some nice fun plays. And then the Twins just hit the shit out of Keller in the first inning. Correa had a go-ahead home run. And then I didn't get to watch the highlights from the next 2 games. My bad.
Gio the God. Glad to hear our guy Gio's doing it. The Royals, a couple of guys that had, Whit Merrifield had a game-tying double. Bobby Witt Jr. has been going, which is really cool to see. Those guys were both off to tough starts to begin the year. It's 4 games. You can't get too hot about splitting a 4-gamer, but I don't know. I mean, they're still, compared to the rest of the Central, it's just like, all right, Twins, I don't know. Like I know you said it, the Mets could go 500 the rest of the way. Basically, the Twins almost kind of can, from what we're seeing from the rest of the division. Like, just don't take a nosedive, Twins, and you're going to be okay.
It's true.
It's nuts.
Yeah. And, yeah. Sonny Gray had a nice start. What happened? I mean, I was watching that, and I think he came out. Him and Greinke both left in the middle of games, but Greinke left in the middle of that bat. And I don't know how bad the injuries are.
I always thought more managers should do that.
Gray felt minor pec tightness.
Better than major pec tightness,
Yeah.
I think.
But he's pitching really well. So I don't know. All
Royals, worst record in the AL. Sneaking up on the Reds for worst record in baseball.
So how do you feel about just going by Junior?
I'd have to process it a little more. I mean, Griffey kind of did the same.
Yeah, but that's why I don't think...
That's why you don't like it.
Yeah, I don't think we're removed
okay.
enough from that.
How far do we have to be removed from that?
A while. Can another pitcher be Rocket? I still don't think another player could be Babe.
I mean, Junior's
Can another
kind
pitcher...
Junior's...
We've had
Junior
a lot of
hasn't
juniors.
been-
All the
exactly.
Blue Jays are juniors.
Right.
And they don't get called Junior.
But he's kind of their guy.
Unless, that's what his friends call him.
Yeah.
But the broadcast only referred to him as Junior. And I was like, really? Huh. Oh, Junior's stealing off to third base. What a play by Junior.
I don't know.
Dude, Eugenio Suarez.
Sound off in the comments, Royals fans.
Eugenio Suarez and J.P. Crawford
Hot.
teamed up for a nice play. Did you see that?
I don't think I saw it.
So runner on second and third. The run scored, but it was a little grounder to third. Suarez wasn't going to get him at first. It was Siri running. And he turned and threw the runner on second, was going to third, but J.P. Crawford was on it the whole way. So it was a cool play, a little sneak attack, and they got the guy at third. Which brings us to Detroit, the Guardians and Detroit. Yeah, that's one. Bieber had a really good start. The first game, Miggy Cabs as a walk-off. That was nice.
That was nice. I saw that.
Baseball moment where, like I said, a wild pitch, Miggy swung at it, but it was a wild pitch, sends the runner to third, and then they bring the infield in, and a professional hitter like Miguel Cabrera, he can just float one over your infield in. Still.
Got the hands in.
Still got.
That's where they tell you to pitch them.
That. So that wild pitch was pretty deadly.
That's where they tell you to pitch them. Hey, Tigers. Jim, if they go 2-2, 19-31. Actually, now I'm kind of rooting for the Tigers to just jump teams. They caught the Royals. They're a couple games back of the Guardians. Get your mind right, Tigers. Their hitting was so bad. Unsustainably bad. We talk about unsustainably good a lot for baseball.
Mm-hmm.
The Tigers were unsustainably bad. So hopefully that gets them going.
Hopefully. The Rays and the Yankees, that was a 4-game set of just dominant starting pitching. Yarbrough went into the 6th without giving up a hit or a run. Was he perfect? No.
He had a walk. He had a walk, hit by pitch.
Nestor Cortez went 8.1 innings. Jameson Tyone went 8 innings, 0 runs. Kluber had a no-hitter or perfect game for a little bit against the Yankees. Cole goes 6 innings, pitched 1 earned run. Springs had a good outing.
Jeff Springs.
And Severino he allows only 2 hits. So, I mean, it was just a starting pitching display by both teams.
Yankees with a thinned out lineup a little bit. Matt Carpenter, how about that? Cardinals fans. He's wearing the pinstripes now. The Yankees lineup was a little thin. The Rays lineup was a little Rays. The pitching was really good. Felt a little weird. It almost felt like these games flip-flopped a little bit. Like the Yankees, it kind of felt like they were getting beat in the first 2, and then they won those 2. And then Rays, it kind of felt like they were getting beat in the second 2, and they won the second 2. So, I don't know. As Yankee fans, I think we were happy to get out of the Trop with a split. Similar, Brewers-Cardinals we talked about before.
Yeah, when they won the first 2, you would have liked to win another. But with the lineup as depleted as it was.
Right.
You take it. I got to see Walls for the first time in full games. Pretty exciting player. Although the Rays infield defense without Lau was a bit shoddy. And something I'm going to address later.
No Joey Wendell.
With my theory.
No Joey Wendell.
Joey Wendell. I love you.
Who is that?
Joey Wendell, I love you. Red Sox and Baltimore split. Those pesky-O's, man. Odor's being just Avarex king. They're just pesky. That's the only way I can say it.
Sneaky big game for the Sox today. You want to keep up your winning ways. Got to take 3 out of 2 against the Orioles. Or 3 out of 5, excuse me.
Yeah, I mean, the Red Sox are hitting. Xander had a 3-run homer. They were up 8-2 in game 1, and the Orioles came back. And then, so the bullpen was a little overused, and then they have a doubleheader, and Eovaldi goes all 9. So that was pretty huge, and they win that game. But then they start a rookie, that dude, Zankowski or whatever his name is, and they leave him in just a bit too long. Because I think they were ready to go bullpen day, and they used like 6 pitchers for 6 innings after that, and they all went 1 inning, 0 earned. And they left him in just for a little bit too long. He had gotten in a jam in the first. He got out of it, gets into a jam in the third. Odor takes him deep for 3 runs. And that was the ball game in that one.
Roogie.
Yeah. And Eovaldi gave up a run in the first inning. It was infield single, error on Devers, ball right to him, he dropped it, and then a shift beater for the run. And then he was like kind of good the rest of the way, and a 2-run homer later on. But
ain't that it? If the Red Sox
goes into my theory,
win today, be 5 straight series wins. Ba-dum, bum, 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 ba-dum.
Ba-dum, bum, bum, ba-dum. Yeah. That's kind of it, man. That's it. That's the AL. That's the AL. You want to do the interleague?
Kicking it to Beebs?
Beebs got it.
I have to pee so bad. I'm going to do that.
You pee. You're going to miss out.
Oh, I know.
You're going to miss out on this interleague series. Jake's peeing. Beebs is interleaguing. Here we go.
Jimmy, one interleague series this weekend. The Windy City Showdown. Cubs, White Sox, and they split it. 2-game set. They split it. Not fun. Cubs win the first one, 5-1. Thompson, Cueto. Cueto got lit up, 6.2 innings, 5 earned, so probably late in the end. Wisdom go-ahead RBI double in the first. The offenses both ends kind of struggled. White Sox starting pitchers, ERA in the 3s. Cubs starting pitchers, ERA below 1. And the relievers had a 2.16 ERA. Jake Berger, I've driven by his childhood home, 4 hits with a home run. Engel, 4 hits and a double. Frank Schwindel, 3 hits with a double. Game 2, Cease, 7 innings, 1 earned, 5 Ks. Stroman, 7 shut. Berger had the walk-off single in this game. White Sox tied the game in a wild pitch in the 9th before that. Each team scored 2 in the 10th and 1 in the 11th. Whoa. White Sox DFA'd Keuchel, bunch of injuries. Anderson to the IL. Moncada didn't start either game, but he pinch hit in game 2, so hopefully he's all right. He's been kind of in and out all year. And the Cubs, Miley's on the IL. VR on the IL. He got hit in the band with in the mouth. That's not fun. And Seiya sat both games. Also not fun, and that's the IL.
Yeah, man. Damn. Boring. 2 games. Split. Cubs and White Sox.
Our guests are here.
Cubs?
Yeah, I saw that.
Cubs, trade your people.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why'd you sign Stroman? Trade your people.
Trade your people.
And why'd you sign anyone? Trade Hap. Trade Contreras. Trade D-Rob. The Yankees will take all 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
Send
Have
them.
fun. Send them over.
Yeah, I don't care. 2-game interleague set.
No, we don't talk
The
about
least-
2-game splits. I
the
mean, I think
least
our audience at least understands that rule.
The least interesting thing you can do.
Yeah.
We each won one. Should we do something else to decide this? Nah.
How many days has it been since opening day? When was opening day? April 11th?
7th or 8th.
Days since April 7th.
Okay.
It's been 53 days. Great. All right. Let's go to the second half of the show.
You wrote that down?
Oh, I'm doing a lot of math.
Okay.
So I wrote that down.
Okay.
I have a theory, obviously, that I'm working on.
Okay.
So if you...
Fan fiction.
I'd love to be wide awake to
I'm wide awake.
hear that theory.
BBD, I'm not going to sing that song right now. I have to tell the people about Trade Coffee, man.
Tell them, dude.
Trade Coffee, Jim, there's one line I love. Because it's kind of how I look at life.
Okay. Happily.
There is no one perfect coffee. We couldn't make one coffee, give it to everyone in the office, give it to, I don't know, random baseball players. We couldn't give Jose Trevino or Jimmy Herget one coffee. And they'd be like, oh, I love this. No, we all like different kinds of coffee. How do you like your coffee, Jim?
Black and boring.
Strong. But not too strong, actually. He doesn't like getting too wired.
No, I
Finer
do.
coffee
I like a light
describes
roast.
it.
I like a light roast because it's more caffeinated.
Right. There are over 450 different kinds, live and ready to ship every day from Trade Coffee. By the way, people, Father's Day coming up. Okay. Does your father drink coffee? We might have just found you a gift. And if you go to drinktrade.com/baseball, they'll give you $30 off. Take their quiz. So you might have to, if it is for your dad, you might want to find out how they like their coffee. And then take that to the quiz. You'll get $30 off plus free shipping when you do. drinktrade.com/baseball.
drinktrade.com/baseball. Jake.
Oh, my God. Got some guests
Strabby.
here.
Jeter's here.
That's the guy. That's the guy.
You have a standout?
I do have a standout performer. Oh, man, your standout's so more cool now. Jimmy Herget's here. I'm going Sandy Alcantara.
Okay.
Alcantara? Do we have a landing area?
It's like Robert. You just fucking say a bunch.
Alcantara.
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 Sandy Alcantara.
Alcantara.
Ah, God. I texted Peter Moylan and saw him today. Again, Farm to Fame.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, hey, how was that Alcantara start the other day? He said it was pretty damn good. And he said the words, I've actually tried to get away from this because I've been saying it too much. He's underrated. If this guy was on a lot of other baseball teams, we would be talking more and more about him. He goes 8 innings pitched, 1 earned run, 14 strikeouts. Now, Jim, we're not as blinded and blown away by the strikeouts as a lot of people. 14 still jumps off the map, dude. And it was if you remember, this was a sandwich series. The Braves won the bread games. He was the meat game. And, man, a reminder of some of the guys in that Braves lineup. Ronald Acuna Jr., Dansby, Ozuna, Riley, Olson, Ozzie Albies, William Contreras, Adam Duvall. Everyone except Dansby got their ticket punched. So it jumped off the page. It was easily the most strikeouts. Sorry, Corbin Burns. It's not always about the strikeouts. We've gotten a little too comfy with strikeouts, and that's a whole nother topic. But the fact that 14 isn't a number that we should just move past and like, wow, good day at the office. 14 strikeouts is insane. Insane. So I'm giving it to him.
Good give.
I'm giving it to him.
My standout goes to Jameson Taillon.
Yes.
8 innings pitched, only 2 hits, 0 earned runs. He did it by allowing them to put the ball in play a bunch, which I love. What was it? He faced some stat. He faced 24 batters and 18 of them. Shit, I did it on Talkin' Yanks, but he faced like 28 batters and 18 of them were out before a fourth pitch was thrown. So he's making quick work of the Rays, which allowed him to go 8 innings pitch. He just attacks the zone. He threw like all of his pitches, first pitch. He wasn't, first pitch this. He was using all his pitches. He used his changeup as his second most pitch for the first time against the Rays, and I want to know, I can ask Jose Trevino is here, who's catching him. Should I ask him, was that a game plan?
Yeah.
Just come in here, Trevi, and I'll just, ask you. Mm-hmm. But maybe he wouldn't want to give that away.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's Jameson Taillon.
He's been awesome. Contract year. So if you like some Jameson, he could be available this offseason. 2.49 ERA in the year. He's fun to watch for. And I saw Sunday Night Baseball. They deserve some credit for this. I know a lot of people, it's easier to just hate some stuff. It was him, Chris Bassett, and there was 2 or 3 starting pitchers, and it was kind of like an aha moment. There's 5 starting pitchers around baseball that throw 5 pitches more than 5% of the time. And J-Mo's one of them, Bassett, and they were all these.
Shohei?
Might have been Shohei. It was all these high-level starting pitchers that you're oh. I mean, when you talk about guys that throw the kitchen sink at you, Taillon kind of does that. And it's so aggressive. It's awesome to watch. And he's nice. Nice guy.
Okay. Like a Band-Aid, Jake. You listened to me in Moreland. We got so many people hot last time. This time it looks like Byron Buxton went 3 for 13 with a double, hit by pitch, a walk. I think it's 2 claps and you're out.
He was in a crazy slump. Did you guys say that? I got cut off right before Slump Watch. He had an 0 for 31 going.
Bad.
Yeah. So he's off.
AJ Pollock 1 for 5 with a K. Only played 1 game, it looks like. So I don't know what to do with that.
I'll think about it. Connecticut guy.
Josh Naylor 3 for 13 with a double and 2 RBIs. Yeah.
He doesn't want it, but it's fine.
Gary Sanchez 5 for 12.
Ooh, Gary.
Way to go. Michael Brantley 3 for 10 with a double and 2 walks. That's a nice slash line. You're off. All right, so additions. We got Kyle Schwarber 0 for 11, 3 walks, 5 Ks. Got to do it on one side of the ball. Nolan Arenado 0 for 10. With 3 walks. Hey, no strikeouts. So let's put him on Slump Watch because I'm positive he's going to get off.
Okay.
And that makes us look good.
Speaking of.
Ian Happ, 0 for 9. He's just trying to guarantee the trade.
Right.
I like that.
Get back down trade value level.
Andrew Vaughn, 0 for 9.
I'm going to need Rizzo.
Yeah, we now got to put Rizzo on there.
I'm going to need Rizzo. I'm sorry.
Okay.
So it's down to Schwarber, Vaughn.
If you do Schwarber, it's kind of like a Cubs thing. You got Happ, Rizzo, and Schwarber.
Yeah, the boys.
They're probably in a group chat together.
Let's hear it for the boys.
They all have each other's numbers.
So, Vaughn, sorry. You're out.
Sorry.
Jake likes you a lot, but you're
I
out.
do.
Jake's
Intense.
a big fan, but you're out, dude.
Intense.
Dirt nasty's on Fuego. That means I'm on fire, baby. Like Waco.
Jimmy, Paul Goldschmidt. Try to mention him when I can. 7 for 16 with 3 home runs.
Yada, yada, yada.
Go look at Paulie G's stat page. He is putting together a year. Also, I think he's a summer guy. I saw someone tweet out his stats that in the summer months, like normally he's a slow starter. So people are really excited.
He's got a lot to share in him.
People are really excited that he's going to put together like a mammo year because he's
It's
normally a
already
slow starter.
so far his best season ever.
Omar.
Keep your fingers crossed, I'd say.
Okay, Omar.
Nomar.
Garcia Para out of the league. Omar Narvaez,
Hot.
7 for 11. Little triple from the catcher. We love that. Franchi Cordero riding high, 6 for 12 with the homer.
That Red Sox pitcher that made his debut was also in the Franchi Cordero trade.
Look at that. Connect the dots baseball style.
Traded 3 times before his debut.
Nate Lowe, not Lau, 7 for 15 with a homer, triple, double, 4 RBI. How's your cycle? Bobby Witt Jr., been trying to tell you people.
Just Junior.
Little 7 for 18, some extra baggers. Chad Pinder, you probably know him from golfing, JM Golf. Nick Gordon, 5 for 12. Trevor Larnack, 4 for 9,
Hey,
2
that
homers.
name makes me laugh.
Nick Gordon?
No, Trevor Larnach.
Trevor Larnack. Rafael Devers, he could be on here a lot, and so can his friend Xander Bogaerts, as the Red Sox have found their identity again. They hit, figure out the rest.
Could have made some money if you bet on these guys.
I would just go and Devers, throw money at someone.
Couple errors.
What?
Actually, maybe just one for him, and then Bogarts had the other.
Oh, so
Actually,
it's
they
matching.
made the play. Hot shot right to him. Dropped it.
You can go drop some quiche at the DraftKings Sportsbook.
Before you get mad at me,
Okay.
Devers' improvement at third base while a major leaguer is very impressive.
Yeah.
And that's a cool story. Not a lot of guys have done that at that position.
Right.
So
Young got better. You can do that. DraftKings is the official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. New customers can bet just $5 on any team, and if they win, you get $150 in free bets, no matter what, win or lose. And by the way, if you want to sneak in, Rangers play tonight, and it's almost a guarantee that they win in 7. Maybe do a Rangers parlay, if I had to guess. And DraftKings, they have also same game parlays where you can increase the juice a little bit. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code Jomboy. Bet just $5 and get $150 in free bets no matter what happens on the field. That's promo code Jomboy at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. MLB trademarks used with permission.
what is your award, young Jake?
James, next on the table.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Jim, I'm giving out the
Do it.
Can He Play Baseball award.
Oh. I said Poppy.
Can he play baseball? And he said, can he play baseball? Mookie Betts. Jim, you're familiar.
Yep. Initials MLB. MVP. MLB?
MLB. Marcus Lynn Betts.
Marcellus, right?
Marcus.
With a K?
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. Mookie Betts is leading the National League in home runs with 14. He just hit 11 in the month of May. It's his career high homers in a month.
He's leading the NL?
He's leading the National
Who's
League.
leading MLB?
Aaron Judge.
How many does he have?
Former rivals.
How many does he have?
Mookie Betts has 49 runs. He's leading the National League in runs. He's led a league in runs 2 times previously. We've gotten a little numb to Mookie Betts. He went over to the Dodgers 2020. Weird year. I think we can all admit that. Last year, he was Mookie Betts. He had an 854 OPS. It was kind of like, oh, yeah, it's Mookie Betts.
His name is Mookie Betts. I said, Poppy, can he play baseball? He said, man, can he play baseball?
I mean, you could have ran it back. 294, 382, a 971 OPS. The baseball savant is still out of this world. Wow, for lack of a better term. And yeah, he's among one of the war leaders in baseball. I think he's a big part of why the Dodgers have continued to get better and better, seemingly. Because in the month of May, I mentioned the 11 home runs, 340, 403, 1.139 OPS. Sometimes we don't highlight. We'll go a couple episodes and we'll be like, damn, we haven't, do we talk about Ohtani too much? Do we talk about Judge too much? Some of the great players of this game. With the Dodgers, you got a whole pile of them, MVP crew. We haven't talked enough about Mookie. He had an incredible month, and he's rolling. And he plays baseball.
His name is Mookie Betts. I said, Poppy, can he play baseball? He said, man, can he play baseball?
My award, good award, Jake.
Thank you.
But how many does Judge have? If Mookie's leading the NL with how many?
14. Judge has 18.
Oh.
Mookie had a better month than Judge.
Yeah.
But
who's second in the AL in home runs?
I'm not sure. I could look it up.
Okay. Is it Vladdy?
I know there's a couple guys around. I'm not sure. I can get there.
All right, cool.
MLB batting leaders. Would that help?
Might find it.
Aaron Judge, and then it's Mike Trout with 13.
13?
Yeah.
5 less.
Just about.
Damn. My award is the Jimmy Has a Theory award. So as I've let the audience know, I've been diving into condensed games.
Yes.
If I watch the AL, condensed game for every game besides I didn't get to Detroit and Cleveland.
Right. He
Sorry.
apologized. Let it fucking go.
I got to tell you, man. Around the league,
Yeah.
defense is lacking.
Yeah.
Big time. And I don't know if the numbers back this up at all. But we talked with Blev. We talked with Moylan. We've talked about it. Feels like there's more balls in play. Feels like there's more small ball. Feels like there's more hit and runs. Yankees are hitting and run. The Yankees are hitting and running.
Yeah.
That's not normal.
Right.
That's new.
That's new.
Everyone was prepping for 3 true outcome baseball for a
Right.
while. Defense kind of didn't matter. You can play whatever position we put you at. Blah, 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 blah.
We don't know how to measure this, so it doesn't matter.
We'll just position you. Man. I watched like the Rangers game, the Angels losses. Some of these losses, the Rays infield, the Phillies, obviously. Some of these losses, when you watch these kind of games, are error-based.
Right.
That is the turning point. An overthrow here, an overthrow there. And I wonder if we see a shift to like, all right, if you're a league average hitter and can pick it, we'll put you out there because, or it corrects itself now. But yeah, it's just kind of been a little eye-opening because then I watched teams that have good defense and it's a difference.
So
and that's what our buddy,
award?
my theory.
My theory award.
Yeah, it's just a theory I have because I don't have stats to back it up.
Okay.
I don't know if they will back it up. I don't even know if it's true that more balls are being put in play or small
Right.
balls happening more. I know I did the bunt stats at one point. It was. But, and maybe like it's dumb. Maybe it's like a duh, errors always are costly. I don't know. I never like watched full condensed games around the league
Right.
for every single game. But there's some bad defense. And it's not errors. It's on the margins. It's tracking down a ball in the corner and then missing the cutoff man or throwing it to the wrong cutoff man or just like shit like that, like a wild pitch and the catcher goes to throw it and no one covers. It's like they're weird non-box score misplays on defense and they're kind of everywhere.
I think you're right. I don't even think it's a theory. I think it's just accurate. Baseball moved so far away from that. And look at the Phillies right now. they fully kind of like sold the house and was like, well, if we can out-hit you and we can put more runs on the board, that's how we'll do it. The pitching will pitch, we'll hit, and the defense will be whatever. And it's so not. It's so not. And yeah, especially if we're banning the shift next year and all of that.
If we when the shift gets banned, it's going to be that offense will go, base hits will come back, and action will come back, but there will be some players. I didn't think of it that way. I thought of it as more guys are getting an opportunity because now slapping the ball helps out and with the DH gone and all that, but I didn't think about it like guys who can't play defense in the infield but have spots are going to be – it's going to be a conversation. Like, what's the worth here?
Infield, outfield. I mean, the numbers that got important around baseball were all offensive. And, man, it's like look at the teams that are successful and we don't say like, oh, they're the Bronx Bombers or like they're the Dodgers. Like Rays teams, they always play a good brand of defense. I know we got a interesting dose in the infield this week, but, I mean, go back. Some of the outfields they've run out in recent years have been some of the best defensive outfields like ever assembled. Like Kiermaier.
Yeah, I'm kind of talking about infield defense.
So we're strictly staying infield.
That my theory, because outfield defense is three true outcomes. You needed guys that can run it down out there.
Right.
But in the infield, you were just putting a guy at second, putting a guy here because the shift helped. And now it's on those relay plays and those moving pieces plays and
double play balls.
And double play balls.
Double play balls in the shift are a disaster.
Yeah.
Because they don't think they need to practice that. I think it goes back to still tying it to good organizations. If you play the St. Louis Cardinals, they've got pretty good defense around the infield. You play a team like the Milwaukee Brewers, they've got good defense around the infield. The Rays for years, like that's been one of the secret sauces when we talk about good teams that it's like, oh, they don't have three aces or they don't have a nutty lineup. Guess what? They play good defense. They run the bases well. What was the Cardinals preseason or one of their first games this year? They had 5 guys collect gold gloves. That's where I had a little head shake before when you were talking about, you know, guys that make routine plays but are bad defenders. There's almost not too many of those guys anymore. If you make good play or if you make routine plays but not the high leverage plays, you're kind of a average / good defender compared to your peers.
I was saying that sometimes bad defense isn't obvious to the eye.
Right.
When it is, it's really bad.
Okay.
But there's teams out there that you would watch them and you'd be like, nah, we're all right. But then you watch the fucking Brewers make crazy plays every 3 innings, and you're like, oh, but we're not that.
That's the difference,
Yeah.
It adds up.
Yeah. Cool. And I think the Mariners have really good defense, too. Like, Eugenio Suarez, JP were making awesome plays.
Hot.
Yeah. Cool. We have a best friend of the week.
Best friend of the week is our guy JMO. 8 innings, no runs. We talked about it.
Nice. Elevator talk. When we spin the wheel. MLB teams wheel decide.
Sounds really fun.
So bad.
Yeah, dude, I had an electric pee.
No, I'm not talking about the Royals again.
Nope.
Too much.
Worst team in the AL. Come on.
Dodgers.
Hit them on the way out. Don't be ashamed by how good they are. Like I think that's one of our problems right now. Like let's not be embarrassed by them. They're the class of baseball, and they're still doing it while shorthanded, man. Your guy Tyler Anderson. How about him?
He's been good.
Walker Buehler was one of the 5-pitch guys. Remembering that now.
Really?
Yeah.
What are he throws 5? You just think of him as a moxie come at you dude.
He's coming in the zone, aren't we all?
Ooh, baby.
Okay, BBD. Tony Gonsolin has an amazing little career that nobody's cared about.
That is tough for him.
We talk about that a lot.
Mookie's getting hot. Freddie's getting hot. Dude, I've seen I've seen Rios having, I don't know, maybe it's just 2 in memory, like clutch at-bats or big like game changing. Like the game was won on a homer by him. Like I think 2 times now. And I was excited for him. I think
He's got a beautiful swing.
Yeah, and he's just so unnoticed. He's probably the last Dodger anyone would name. 906 OPS in his last 14 games with 5 homers. So he's putting together a pretty good month here in May.
Evan Pillar.
Jake sucks. Thanks, guys. Love ya.